#Diabetes, a modern epidemic, prevention as the key. The silent killer lurks in our daily routines, hiding behind seemingly innocent choices that accumulate into a devastating health crisis. Diabetes has emerged as one of the most formidable challenges facing modern healthcare, with over 37 million Americans currently living with this condition while another 96 million adults hover dangerously close to the precipice with prediabetes, creating a staggering reality where nearly half of the adult population finds themselves either battling this disease or standing at its threshold. Understanding diabetes requires recognizing its fundamental nature as a metabolic disorder that occurs when your body either cannot produce enough insulin or cannot effectively use the insulin it produces, leading to elevated blood glucose levels that, over time, cause serious damage to the heart, blood vessels, eyes, kidneys, and nerves. This condition represents not merely a single disease but rather a complex spectrum of disorders that share the common characteristic of hyperglycemia, yet manifest through different pathways and present unique challenges for prevention and management. The devastating scope of diabetes extends far beyond individual suffering, creating ripple effects throughout families, communities, and healthcare systems while imposing an enormous economic burden that reaches into hundreds of billions of dollars annually in direct medical costs, lost productivity, and disability-related expenses. This financial toll reflects only the measurable aspects of a crisis that touches every corner of American society, from elementary schools grappling with childhood obesity to nursing homes managing complications in elderly residents. Type 1 diabetes, previously known as juvenile diabetes, represents an autoimmune condition where the body's immune system mistakenly attacks and destroys the insulin-producing beta cells in the pancreas, typically developing in childhood or adolescence, though it can occur at any age. While this form accounts for approximately 5 to 10% of all diabetes cases, its impact proves profound as individuals require lifelong insulin therapy and face unique challenges in managing blood sugar levels throughout their daily activities, growth spurts, and life transitions. The autoimmune nature of type 1 diabetes means that prevention strategies differ significantly from those applicable to type 2 diabetes, with current research focusing on identifying genetic markers, environmental triggers, and potential interventions that might delay or prevent the onset of this condition in high-risk individuals. Families with a history of type 1 diabetes must remain vigilant for early warning signs including excessive thirst, frequent urination, unexplained weight loss, extreme fatigue, and blurred vision, as prompt recognition and treatment can prevent the development of diabetic ketoacidosis, a potentially life-threatening complication. Type 2 diabetes represents the overwhelming majority of diabetes cases, affecting approximately 90 to 95% of individuals with this condition, and unlike type 1 diabetes, it develops gradually over time as the body becomes resistant to insulin or fails to produce sufficient amounts to maintain normal glucose levels. This form of diabetes strongly correlates with lifestyle factors including diet, physical activity, weight management, and stress levels, making it largely preventable through targeted interventions and sustained behavioral changes. The progression from normal glucose metabolism to type 2 diabetes rarely occurs overnight, instead following a predictable pathway that begins with insulin resistance, progresses through prediabetes, and ultimately culminates in full-blown diabetes. This extended timeline provides multiple opportunities for intervention. Yet the gradual nature of the disease means that many individuals remain unaware of their condition until significant damage has already occurred to their cardiovascular system, kidneys, eyes, and nervous system. Prediabetes serves as a critical warning sign, affecting an estimated 96 million American adults who have blood sugar levels higher than normal but not yet high enough to be classified as type 2 diabetes. This condition represents a crucial window of opportunity where lifestyle modifications can prevent or significantly delay the progression to diabetes. Yet studies indicate that up to 70% of individuals with prediabetes will eventually develop type 2 diabetes without intervention. The risk factors for type 2 diabetes encompass both modifiable and non-modifiable elements, with age, family history, ethnicity, and genetic predisposition falling into the latter category, while weight management, physical activity, dietary choices, smoking cessation, and stress management remain within individual control. Understanding these risk factors empowers individuals to make informed decisions about their health and take proactive steps to reduce their likelihood of developing this devastating condition. Obesity stands as perhaps the most significant modifiable risk factor for type 2 diabetes, with excess weight, particularly around the midsection, contributing to insulin resistance and inflammatory processes that impair glucose metabolism. The relationship between weight and diabetes risk follows a clear pattern, with each additional unit of body mass index significantly increasing the probability of developing the condition, yet even modest weight loss of 5 to 10% can substantially reduce diabetes risk. Physical inactivity compounds the risk associated with excess weight, as regular exercise plays a crucial role in maintaining insulin sensitivity, glucose utilization, and overall metabolic health. Sedentary lifestyles have become increasingly common in modern society, with technological advances reducing the need for physical exertion while simultaneously increasing opportunities for passive entertainment, creating an environment that promotes diabetes development. The modern American diet, characterized by high consumption of processed foods, refined sugars, saturated fats, and oversized portions, contributes significantly to the diabetes epidemic while providing inadequate amounts of fiber, vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients essential for optimal metabolic function. This dietary pattern promotes weight gain, insulin resistance, and inflammation while failing to support the body's natural ability to regulate blood sugar levels. Chronic stress represents an often overlooked risk factor for type 2 diabetes, as prolonged elevation of stress hormones like cortisol can interfere with insulin function and glucose metabolism while promoting behaviors that increase diabetes risk, including overeating, poor food choices, reduced physical activity, and inadequate sleep. The fast-paced, high-pressure nature of modern life creates an environment where chronic stress becomes normalized, yet its impact on metabolic health proves profound. Sleep quality and duration significantly influence diabetes risk, with both insufficient sleep and poor sleep quality associated with increased insulin resistance, altered glucose metabolism, and elevated risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The relationship between sleep and diabetes operates through multiple pathways, including hormonal regulation, appetite control, and cellular repair processes that occur during rest periods. Smoking cessation represents a crucial component of diabetes prevention, as tobacco use increases insulin resistance, promotes inflammation, and damages blood vessels while interfering with the body's ability to regulate blood sugar levels. Smokers face a 30 to 40% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to non-smokers. Yet this risk begins to decrease within years of quitting and continues to improve over time. The prevention of type 2 diabetes requires a comprehensive approach that addresses multiple risk factors simultaneously while recognizing that small, sustainable changes often prove more effective than dramatic lifestyle overhauls that prove difficult to maintain. Successful prevention strategies focus on creating lasting behavioral changes that become integrated into daily routines rather than temporary interventions that fail to address underlying patterns. Dietary modifications for diabetes prevention emphasize whole, minimally processed foods that provide steady energy release while supporting optimal metabolic function. This approach includes increasing consumption of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats while reducing intake of refined sugars, processed foods, and excessive portions that overwhelm the body's ability to maintain stable blood sugar levels. The concept of glycemic index and glycemic load provides valuable guidance for food choices, helping individuals select carbohydrates that produce gradual rises in blood sugar rather than rapid spikes that stress the insulin system. Low glycemic foods such as oatmeal, quinoa, sweet potatoes, and legumes provide sustained energy while supporting stable glucose levels throughout the day. Portion control emerges as a critical skill for diabetes prevention, as even healthy foods can contribute to weight gain and insulin resistance when consumed in excessive quantities. Learning to recognize appropriate serving sizes, using smaller plates, and practicing mindful eating techniques help individuals develop a healthier relationship with food while supporting optimal metabolic function. Meal timing and frequency play important roles in diabetes prevention, with regular meals and snacks helping to maintain stable blood sugar levels while preventing the extreme hunger that often leads to overeating. spreading food intake throughout the day rather than consuming large, infrequent meals supports better glucose control and reduces stress on the insulin system. Physical activity recommendations for diabetes prevention encompass both aerobic exercise and resistance training, with guidelines suggesting at least 150 minutes of moderate-intensity aerobic activity or 75 minutes of vigorous-intensity aerobic activity per week, combined with muscle-strengthening activities on 2 or more days per week. These recommendations provide a foundation for metabolic health while remaining achievable for most individuals. The benefits of regular exercise extend far beyond weight management, including improved insulin sensitivity, enhanced glucose uptake by muscles, reduced inflammation, better cardiovascular health, and improved mood and stress management. These effects begin to occur within days of starting an exercise program and continue to accumulate over time, making physical activity one of the most powerful tools for diabetes prevention. Incorporating movement into daily routines proves more sustainable than relying solely on formal exercise sessions, with strategies including taking stairs instead of elevators, parking farther from destinations, walking or biking for short errands, and engaging in active hobbies that provide enjoyment while promoting physical fitness. These lifestyle modifications create cumulative benefits that support long-term health without requiring significant time commitments. Weight management strategies for diabetes prevention focus on creating sustainable caloric deficits through a combination of dietary modifications and increased physical activity, with emphasis on gradual, steady progress rather than rapid weight loss that often proves difficult to maintain. Successful weight management requires developing new habits and thought patterns that support long-term success rather than temporary fixes. The importance of professional guidance cannot be overstated in diabetes prevention efforts, as healthcare providers can assess individual risk factors, provide personalized recommendations, and monitor progress while adjusting strategies as needed. Regular medical checkups allow for early detection of prediabetes and other risk factors while providing opportunities for intervention before diabetes develops. Blood sugar monitoring plays a crucial role in diabetes prevention for high-risk individuals, with regular testing helping to identify trends and patterns that might indicate developing insulin resistance or prediabetes. Understanding normal blood sugar ranges and recognizing concerning values empowers individuals to take proactive steps in consultation with their healthcare providers. The psychological aspects of diabetes prevention require careful attention, as many individuals struggle with motivation, self-efficacy, and behavioral change challenges that can impede prevention efforts. Addressing these psychological factors through counseling, support groups, and behavioral intervention significantly improves the likelihood of successful lifestyle modifications. Family and social support systems prove instrumental in diabetes prevention success, as lifestyle changes often require modifications to household routines, meal planning, and recreational activities that affect multiple family members. Involving family members in prevention efforts creates a supportive environment while improving health outcomes for all participants. Workplace wellness programs represent valuable opportunities for diabetes prevention, particularly given the amount of time most adults spend in work environments. Effective programs address multiple risk factors through education, environmental modifications, fitness opportunities, and policy changes that support healthy choices throughout the workday. Community-based prevention initiatives extend diabetes prevention efforts beyond individual and family levels, creating environments that support healthy choices through improved access to nutritious foods, safe spaces for physical activity, and educational programs that raise awareness about diabetes risk factors and prevention strategies. These initiatives recognize that individual behavior change occurs within broader social and environmental contexts. The role of healthcare policy in diabetes prevention encompasses insurance coverage for prevention programs, funding for community initiatives, regulations affecting food marketing and labeling, and support for research into effective prevention strategies. Policy-level interventions can create systemic changes that make healthy choices more accessible and affordable for all Americans. Early detection of diabetes and prediabetes requires understanding the warning signs and risk factors that indicate the need for medical evaluation, with symptoms including increased thirst, frequent urination, unexplained weight loss, extreme fatigue, blurred vision, slow-healing wounds, and frequent infections. However, many individuals with prediabetes and early type 2 diabetes experience no symptoms, making regular screening essential for high-risk individuals. Screening recommendations vary based on individual risk factors, with general guidelines suggesting that adults over 45 years old should be screened every 3 years, while younger adults with risk factors such as overweight, family history, or certain ethnic backgrounds may need earlier and more frequent testing. These guidelines continue to evolve as research provides new insights into optimal screening strategies. The diagnostic criteria for diabetes and prediabetes rely on specific blood tests that measure glucose levels under different conditions, including fasting plasma glucose, oral glucose tolerance test, and hemoglobin A1C levels. Understanding these tests and their significance helps individuals interpret their results and work with healthcare providers to develop appropriate prevention or management strategies. Complications of diabetes develop gradually over time and can affect virtually every organ system in the body, with cardiovascular disease representing the leading cause of death among individuals with diabetes. Other serious complications include kidney disease, nerve damage, eye problems that can lead to blindness, foot problems that may require amputation, and increased susceptibility to infections. The economic impact of diabetes extends far beyond direct medical costs, encompassing lost productivity, disability payments, and the indirect costs associated with complications and reduced quality of life. Understanding these economic implications helps individuals, families, and policymakers appreciate the full scope of the diabetes epidemic and the importance of prevention efforts. Emerging research continues to reveal new insights into diabetes prevention, including the role of gut microbiome, genetic factors, environmental exposures, and novel therapeutic approaches that may enhance prevention efforts. Staying informed about these developments while maintaining focus on proven prevention strategies provides the best approach to reducing diabetes risk. The intersection of diabetes prevention with other health conditions requires careful consideration, as many individuals face multiple risk factors that may interact in complex ways. Comprehensive prevention approaches address these interconnected health issues while recognizing that improvements in one area often benefit overall health and well-being. Cultural competency in diabetes prevention recognizes that different communities may face unique challenges and require tailored approaches that respect cultural values, preferences, and circumstances. Effective prevention programs adapt their strategies to meet the specific needs of diverse populations while maintaining focus on evidence-based interventions. Technology offers increasing opportunities to support diabetes prevention efforts through mobile applications, wearable devices, telemedicine platforms, and online resources that provide education, tracking capabilities, and support for behavior change. These tools can enhance traditional prevention approaches while making resources more accessible to diverse populations. The prevention of gestational diabetes represents a special consideration for women of childbearing age, as this condition increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes later in life while also affecting pregnancy outcomes. Pre-pregnancy counseling and lifestyle modifications can reduce the risk of gestational diabetes while supporting overall maternal and fetal health. Pediatric diabetes prevention requires special attention to the unique needs of children and adolescents, including age-appropriate education, family involvement, and recognition of the developmental factors that influence behavior change. Early intervention during childhood and adolescence can establish healthy patterns that persist into adulthood. The transition from pediatric to adult diabetes care presents unique challenges that require careful planning and support to ensure continuity of care and continued adherence to prevention strategies. Successful transitions involve gradual assumption of self-management responsibilities while maintaining appropriate medical supervision and support. Diabetes prevention in older adults must account for the physiological changes associated with aging, including decreased insulin sensitivity, changes in body composition, and increased prevalence of other health conditions that may affect prevention strategies. Age-appropriate interventions recognize these factors while maintaining focus on achievable lifestyle modifications. The role of mental health in diabetes prevention deserves special attention, as depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions can significantly impact an individual's ability to maintain healthy lifestyle behaviors. Addressing mental health concerns as part of comprehensive prevention efforts improves outcomes while supporting overall well-being. Medication-induced diabetes represents a consideration for individuals taking certain medications that can affect glucose metabolism, including corticosteroids, antipsychotics, and some blood pressure medications. Awareness of these potential effects allows for appropriate monitoring and preventive measures in consultation with healthcare providers. The prevention of diabetes complications requires understanding that even individuals who develop diabetes can take steps to minimize their risk of serious complications through optimal glucose control, blood pressure management, cholesterol control, and regular monitoring. These secondary prevention strategies prove crucial for maintaining quality of life and preventing disability. Diabetes prevention research continues to evolve, with ongoing studies investigating new approaches to prevention, including pharmaceutical interventions, novel dietary strategies, and innovative behavior change techniques. Staying informed about research developments while maintaining focus on proven prevention strategies provides the best approach to reducing diabetes risk. The global perspective on diabetes prevention recognizes that this epidemic affects countries worldwide, with different populations facing unique challenges and opportunities for prevention. Learning from successful prevention programs in other countries while adapting strategies to local contexts can enhance prevention efforts. Environmental factors in diabetes prevention include considerations such as air quality, built environment features that promote or discourage physical activity, and access to healthy food options. Addressing these environmental factors through policy and community development initiatives can support individual prevention efforts. The cost-effectiveness of diabetes prevention programs demonstrates that investing in prevention produces significant returns through reduced healthcare costs, improved quality of life, and increased productivity. These economic benefits provide strong justification for supporting prevention initiatives at individual, community, and policy levels. Quality improvement initiatives in diabetes prevention focus on implementing evidence-based programs, measuring outcomes, and continuously refining prevention strategies based on performance data. These approaches ensure that prevention efforts achieve maximum impact while using resources efficiently. The integration of diabetes prevention with other health promotion efforts recognizes that many chronic diseases share common risk factors and prevention strategies. Comprehensive approaches that address multiple health issues simultaneously can achieve greater impact while reducing redundancy and improving efficiency. Training and education for healthcare providers in diabetes prevention ensures that all members of the healthcare team understand their role in prevention efforts and possess the knowledge and skills necessary to provide effective counseling and support. Ongoing professional development keeps providers current with best practices and emerging research. Community partnerships in diabetes prevention bring together healthcare organizations, schools, workplaces, faith-based organizations, and other community groups to create comprehensive prevention initiatives that address multiple levels of influence on health behavior. These partnerships leverage diverse resources and expertise while reaching broader populations. The measurement and evaluation of diabetes prevention programs requires establishing clear objectives, collecting appropriate data, and using rigorous methods to assess program effectiveness. Ongoing evaluation allows for program improvements while building evidence for successful prevention strategies. Diabetes prevention advocacy involves raising awareness about the diabetes epidemic, promoting policies that support prevention efforts, and ensuring that prevention programs receive adequate funding and support. Effective advocacy combines personal stories with scientific evidence to create compelling arguments for prevention investments. The future of diabetes prevention holds promise for new approaches based on advancing understanding of the disease process, improved technologies for prevention and monitoring, and innovative strategies for behavior change. Maintaining optimism about these developments while focusing on currently available prevention strategies provides the best approach to reducing diabetes risk. In conclusion, diabetes prevention represents one of the most important public health challenges of our time, requiring coordinated efforts at individual, family, community, and policy levels to address the complex factors that contribute to this epidemic. By understanding the risk factors, implementing evidence-based prevention strategies, and maintaining commitment to long-term behavior change, we can significantly reduce the burden of diabetes while improving health outcomes for millions of Americans. The time for action is now. As the diabetes epidemic continues to grow and affect increasing numbers of individuals, families, and communities across the nation, every person has the power to reduce their diabetes risk through informed choices and sustained commitment to healthy lifestyle behaviors, while healthcare providers, policymakers, and community leaders must work together to create environments that support these individual efforts. Prevention remains our most powerful weapon against diabetes, offering the promise of avoiding this devastating disease entirely rather than simply managing its consequences. By embracing prevention strategies and maintaining focus on long-term health outcomes, we can transform the trajectory of the diabetes epidemic and create a healthier future for all Americans.